You ever had an idea that you knew was stupid but decided to do anyway? Cause I know it can't be just me. More specifically, have you ever wondered what would happen if you took a laptop and combined it with cardboard to create the first ever Gremlinventor box book with the latest in Intel technology? Oh, it's from 2013. Never mind. Well, I certainly have. Being somewhat curious whether or not others possess this level of stupidity, I headed over to YouTube and after a bit of sifting, found out that this channel also had the same idea.
So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making a fully functional cardboard out of laptop.
Oh, so like, I'm not the first or only moron with this idea? Oh, bugger. I guess this means I can learn from their mistakes then. Not to be daunted, I went scrounging around in my parts box and came up with this ancient office laptop, the HP ProBook 650 G1. And yes, I am the sort of person who has archaic laptops lying around in a sort of dragonish hoard. Taking a quick look at it, we can see that it's quite bulky, which means it shouldn't look too different in size once I transmute it to cardboard. Unfortunately, it is missing a hard drive cable because the nasty little imps that sold it to me kept it. This means that in order for it to work, I have to buy another one. So, onto the disassembly to see exactly what we're working with. Be aware that acts of violence such as this against your laptop will void the warranty, and any chance of getting it professionally repaired for less than an arm and both your legs will be nil. If you do decide to follow me down this dark path though, then keep some magnets handy and a tray for your screws. You'll thank yourself later. Blast. Oh, double blast. Oh, come on. Get in. Aha. Hello. I missed you before. So I've hit a bit of a problem, I think. I'm trying to pull this plastic shield off so that I can get to the electronics underneath. And I've managed to pop it up on all these other sides with great difficulty. But I think the CD drive is keeping it held in place here. And I don't want to pull too hard in case I snap this sheath. But then the question is, how do I get the CD drive out? Maybe I need to get the shield off in order to get the case. Ah. Now it should just be pulled. That did it, alright. Whoa. That's a lot of dust. Goodness, that's gonna need cleaning. Oh, that's actual metal under there. Ah, dang. How am I gonna get it off now? Okay, so this is the computer in all of its disassembled glory. We'll quickly go through the pieces one by one just so that you know what I'm talking about later. Starting with the motherboard. So this is where the battery would plug in if it wasn't in pieces right now. This is where the RAM goes. RAM, for those of you who don't know, is like temporary computer memory. A place for it to hold stuff. Short-term memory for computers. There we go. This is the heatsink, which takes away all of the heat from the CPU and sometimes GPU, which are the brains of the computer. And it goes along this pipe and is dispersed through these fins by the fan here, which circulates air throughout the computer. This is where the Wi-Fi card would go. Hello, Wi-Fi card.
Hello, Gremlinventor.
How are you doing?
I'm doing alright. I've gone all to pieces over the fact that I'm not together with the rest of the motherboard.
Oh, that's sad. Moving quickly on. This is an extra USB card. This would plug in somewhere over here. I've forgotten exactly where. This is the disk drive. Most modern computers don't have those anymore. This is one of the speakers. This is the other one of the speakers. I'm going to be replacing them later. This is the keyboard. This is the touchpad, which I removed from the computer frame using very unorthodox methods. I'm not sure what this does. This is the LCD panel, or screen, and this is where you see all of the information that the GPU sends from the computer. This is where the SSD, or hard drive, would go if I had a cable for it, and that's where all your data is stored, including your operating system. And hiding off camera, get over here, don't be shy. That's the webcam, and this, I think, is the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi card extension. It normally sits right beside the LCD panel so that it's like in a high place to receive and send Wi-Fi signals. And last of all, this is the button board, and this is how you turn the computer on. And I think that's everything. The first thing I did was remove the connectors from the original speakers and solder them to my replacements. After that, I loosened the laptop hinges. This does mean that the screen won't be as stable when opened, but if I left them at their original stiffness, they'd rip out the cardboard frame every time I opened the lid. I made cutouts for both button boards, then began cutting out pieces to build up the frame. And oh my god, this thing is getting thick. If I'm not careful, it's going to become a suitcase PC instead of a box book. To try and reduce the thickness of the frame, I cut out a sunken section in the motherboard tray, which when flipped over is also the keyboard and trackpad tray, to fit the keyboard in, but that didn't really go so well. So it fits the cutout nicely, but I also realized halfway through that if I put the keyboard here, I'll cover up the buttonholes. I also feel like I've completely nuked the structural integrity of this piece. Half of it's just paper now. So that's also a problem. Okay, let's forget that ever happened and cut a new piece. Take 2 for frame base. So, back to work. I cut out a second motherboard tray, then began filling in all the empty spaces with custom fit cardboard pieces. Once I was sure where everything went, I glued them all in, including the hinges. Okay, here we are so far. It's starting to actually look like a cardboard laptop. I discovered a pretty stupid mistake after I'd finished putting all of this together, and it's this. So see, looks great like this, but I've put the hinges on upside down. There's a port on the back of the laptop that I made to plug the keyboard cable into, right here. And it's on this side because this is the top of the laptop. This is where the keyboard and touchpad go. I think that's the power button over here. I think these are the volume buttons. Anyway, point is, I've put the hinges on backwards, which means I need to tear off all of this and redo it and hope I don't ruin the cardboard in the process. Oh, look at that. Mangled. Thankfully, it was an easy fix, and I eventually had the whole bottom tray completed. The hard drive cable I had ordered arrived today, which was good, because I didn't want to seal up the laptop without an SSD inside. What the hell with this door? Anyway, I also want to be able to swap this SSD out to use in other builds, something I do quite frequently, and so, to that end, I created a little tray for it instead of just like gluing it straight to the frame. I used screws to secure the SSD in place, which was surprisingly effective. Thinking if it worked for the SSD, then it might work for other things, I began screwing the motherboard in place. And yeah, no, that didn't work. I think they weren't long enough, or there wasn't enough cardboard to screw into, so I just ended up screwing it in place. I just ended up gluing it in place. Good lord, I have a script for this. Next, I went to work on cleaning up the edges of the trackpad. And yeah, maybe using an angle grinder to clean up the edges of the trackpad is a stupid idea and a stupidly clumsy tool, but I'm too impatient to use a file and it worked out anyway, so... Okay, I hope I don't have to pull this up again because I'm about to glue it in. So that is going to be rather permanent. Ha, that's hot. Ha! Everything is under control. Ow. Now we plug this cable into here. Boonk. Just try not to get any glue on the touchpad, because I think that would be bad. Oh, I got glue on the touchpad. Ow, ow, ow. And here's the top case, which in theory should fit nicely. Oh. Oh dearie me. Why? I know I measured this. Wait, what? Why can't I click the buttons now? What the heck? Don't tell me I glued the buttons. Let me just fix this.
12 seconds later.
Yeah, so this is great. I just broke this tiny plastic touchpad mechanism piece. And, well, I don't think I could have put it back together anyway.
We have a problem.
I could, of course, just dispense with the touch buttons in general, or just build my own touch buttons. Touchpad buttons. They're called touchpad buttons. Because the switches are still here, and I assume they're still functional. In fact, I could even dispense with them completely and just use the touchpad right here, because you can just tap on the touchpad to do the same thing as the button clicker. But I really do like having a tactile response. I do like knowing that I've actually clicked a button, and because this is an old touchpad, it doesn't have the button underneath, just the... Huh. Oh, I'm a genius. Yo. My genius idea was this. What if I just put the clicky buttons underneath the actual touchpad, so I could press on the touchpad when I wanted to click, instead of using separate button mechanisms? MacBooks and many other modern laptops do this now, and I saw no reason why it wouldn't work. Except that, you know, maybe I had already broken the touchpad buttons. So, I may have broken the touchpad buttons. I was trying to fix them earlier. I booted the computer up to a temporary operating system, and I tried pressing these buttons. These are the switches underneath the touchpad buttons, and they just would not register a click. None of the cables are broken, as far as I can tell, but I'm gonna have to just essentially remove them. Moving on to the screen, I've already attached it to the hinges using these tiny little screws. I put all the screws into the screen and hinges before the camera was rolling, just to make sure they all fit, and it was so irritating that I don't want to take them out again and film them. Obviously, I'm not going to just leave it like this. I'm going to put a backing on here. There's going to be a glowing logo, but let's first get the keyboard and mouse tray finished, and possibly the trimming down here, and then we can start on the screen. So, let's do this. Oh no. Oh, I put it in the wrong hole, I think. Did I? Yes, I did. Wrong hole. How in the blazes am I supposed to fit that in there? Oh, come on already. Oh, whoops. No, come on. Whoops again. Get in. Ah, yes. Hello. I did not realize you were on. Alright, we are going to use Elmer's glue to glue down this tray, because hot glue dries too quickly, and whoa, okay, yeah, and also this stuff dries really stiff, which is great for a keyboard and mouse tray. Okay, I really hope I do not have to get under here to fix anything, because this is not going to be removable. You should clamp that down with something heavy. While I waited for that to dry, I began working on the glowing logo. I'm going to be making it by cutting out the logo in this cardboard panel, and the panel will be glued onto the back of the screen. This way, you can only see the LED backlight showing from the cutout, which gives me exactly the effect I want. I debated on using this science fiction G I have for my current channel logo instead, but thought this would look better, or at least more unique, on the laptop. At this point, the finish line was within sight. All I had to do now was measure and cut out the rest of the frame, attach these pieces to the main body, and finish with some little pieces for trim. In real time, that was mind-numbingly boring, but luckily for you, due to the magic of YouTube, you can view that whole process in a quick build montage. Alright, here we are. This is the Gremlinventor box book in its finished form. A genuine cardboard laptop. But does it work? Well, that's what we're about to see, because I'm going to install Fedora Linux and try and get this laptop actually running. So first thing I'm going to do, install to hard drive. Alright, yes, I would like English. Automatic partitioning selected. What does that mean? Free up space, encrypt my data. Yes, please. Done. All right, let's go. Begin installation. Click. Predictably, everything has gone wrong. I've been trying to install an operating system to this SSD here for about a week now. I've also tried installing it to this ancient hard drive, which also came from an HP laptop. No dice. I've tried different RAM sticks. I've tried messing with BIOS settings and changing different boot modes from UEFI to legacy. I've tried so many things and absolutely nothing is working. And to top it off, I ripped off the power membrane button. I was going to replace this screw that and it's come apart even more. Anyway, point is I've ripped off the power button, so I've now got to solder an entirely new one on. It just gets better, doesn't it?
So, I bought another cable. This would be the last test. I had tried everything I could think of, and if this didn't fix it, I didn't know what would. So, I plugged the cable in, screwed the bottom of the laptop on, and prepared myself for victory or failure.
Insert dramatic music here. 3, 2, 1. Maybe it's dead? I have, after all, left it for a pretty long time. Okay. 3, 2, 1, again. Ha! Wait. Oh, yes. Oh. It's booting. Oh. Okay, first of all, it booted. That's brilliant. And second, let me see if I can get rid of these scrolling lines here, because those are not pleasant to look at. Speakers work. There we go. Whew. Scrolling line's gone. Oh, this is a fully functioning cardboard laptop. All right, so first thing I notice, I don't like the touchpad speed. And let's have no point acceleration. There we go. What's the power management like? I want to squeeze the most performance out of this as possible. So one on AC power, switch to performance. Yes, please. So it should run faster on AC power now. On battery, let's put it on performance. And then on low battery, we want power saver. Okay, opening a browser is pretty slow. How's it? Actually, I don't like the cursor size. Oh, whoa. Fan spinning up. Cursor size 36. There we go. It's easier to see now. For me and for you. It's me. Speakers. Speakers work. How quick is it at loading shorts?
I upgraded my setup with the M4
That's pretty quick.
one of the most powerful mini computers in existence.
Those are awful speakers. Oh my god. I am browsing and typing on a cardboard laptop.
Lads, we're back with, I'm not using that as a mousepad. Lads, we're back with Minecraft. That's right, that is the benchmark we're going to be running. I'm currently recording this audio off of the laptop's built-in microphone as another test. I've never launched this before, so let's see how it goes. Fan spinning up. Here we go.
Press enter to enable the narrator.
Press enter to enable the narrator. By the way, I'm not screen recording this because it would reduce the performance of the machine, and I want to get like raw frames per second. Oh, the world loading is so slow. Here we go. Listen to that fan. It's laggy. Good evening. 14 frames per second. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can squeeze a bit more performance out of this. Right, let's see what that does. Oh, that feels smoother already. Wait, I can actually play this now. That's way smoother. Look at that. We're getting a high of like 47 frames per second. Well, look at that. Oh my goodness me. How dumb. How so ridiculous. There we are. Minecraft with a maximum of 45 frames per second on my cardboard laptop. It doesn't get dumber than that. See you in the next video.